So there you are, just about to start your My Team career, and you have to pick an engine. But which one is the best option? Let's find out. Now, I understand that this video is probably about 8 months too late, but hey, better late than never, right? So let's start off with the big one, your top speed. The Ferrari engine has the top best speed at 198 miles an hour. Joint second was Mercedes and the Renault engine at 197 miles an hour. And last was Honda with 196 miles an hour. I also tested the rich and lean engine modes to see if this had an effect, and it didn't really, as Ferrari still came out on top with 199 and 195 miles an hour respectively, whilst the other three engines were actually all tied at 198 and 194 miles an hour respectively. Next we head to the performance index, but before we get there I had to make sure that it was a fair test and that there was no hanky-panky going on whatsoever.
Bruh.
So if you don't know, when you have your interview at the beginning with Will Buxton, the answers you give will actually affect your car's performance. So for this, I had to make sure that I answered the same way for each engine. That way, I could be sure that there was no effect on the engine performance whatsoever. Also, I'm planning to do a video explaining what effect each answer in this starter interview with Will Buxton has on your car at the start of My Team. Not sure when that's coming out, but if you want to see that, make sure you're subscribed. Right, back to the performance index. Ferrari has the best overall, being 7th, whilst the other three engines only end up with 8th best overall. The power unit was also a win for Ferrari, with it being the 4th best, with all the others being the 7th best. The aero and chassis was the same for all of them, being the 8th best overall. And then we head to durability, where yet again the Ferrari engine comes out on top and is even the best on the grid. The Mercedes engine is 4th, the Renault is 7th, and the Honda engine is 9th. The last thing to look at quickly whilst we're at the performance index is how many components you start off with for each engine. As you can see, Ferrari starts off with 4 out of 23 engine components and 5 out of 27 durability components. Mercedes only has 2 out of 23 engine components, but 3 out of 27 durability components. The Renault has the opposite of this, with 3 out of 23 engine components, but only 2 out of 27 durability components. And Honda has 4 out of 25 engine components, so you start off with more, but you have to acquire more in total. And it also has 0 out of 29 components for durability, which really isn't very good at all. So that was the easy bit. Now let's look at how the engines get on in a race situation. This is actually quite tricky because the results can't actually be that accurate in the My Team career mode, as you can't control the weather like you could in, say, the Grand Prix mode. Therefore, the weather and track conditions are dynamic, and as a result are different for every engine, which makes comparing them pretty difficult. Other than the weather and track conditions, everything else is exactly the same. With me racing the car, Renault was the fastest at 6.1% quicker than the AI, Mercedes was second with 5.2%, Honda was third with 5.1%, and surprisingly Ferrari was last with 4.7%. In qualifying though, Ferrari was back on top, being 6.9% faster than the AI, the Renault engine was second with 6.5%, Honda was third with 6%, and Mercedes was last with 5.4%. Obviously, with me driving, there's quite a lot of human error in these results, so I also decided to take my teammates' results as well, who at the time was Dorian Boccalacci. So, looking at Boccalacci's results, the Honda engine was the fastest, being 3% slower than the fastest AI, with Ferrari second at 3.3% slower, Mercedes with 3.4% slower, and Renault in last with 3.5% slower than the fastest AI. However, in qualifying, the Mercedes was the fastest with 3.37%, Honda was in second with 3.39%, Ferrari was third with 3.4%, and Renault again were last with 3.5% slower than the fastest AI. So as you can see, my results and my teammates' results were very different. But if you take an average position, Honda, Renault and Mercedes were all tied in first with an average position of 2.4, whereas Ferrari were in last with an average position of only 2.8. So what on earth does this all mean, Jumbo? Well, based on the performance index part of the results, you would say the Ferrari is the best engine, but it's also very expensive, especially at the start of my team where you don't have that much money yet. Also, in the racing scenario, it didn't seem to do very well at all. Maybe it's been nerfed in the gameplay and the stats tell a different story? Who knows? Mercedes is solid in performance and durability, but isn't really the best at anything. Honda is the cheapest and will require the most time to increase its performance and durability, so ultimately it is the worst, but it's not actually that far off the other teams in terms of performance. Therefore, I would suggest the Renault as being the best starter engine and all-round engine, I think, as it's the second cheapest and just about pips Mercedes as the second best in performance too. This means you will still have some money left over to put towards a better teammate if you want, or even put it towards new facilities. And although its durability isn't as good as Mercedes or the Ferrari, it's a lot better than Honda's. Plus, I also found it to be the best in the race scenarios, but that is just my personal preference. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this, and let me know what is your favourite starting engine in my team. Is it now the Renault one? I hope you found all of this very useful, and if you did, then hit that like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I've set the goal of trying to reach 1,000 subs this year, so if you want to support me with that, then make sure you are subscribed. Alrighty then, I've been Jumbo, and I'll see you in the next one.